Greetings everyone, Napoleon Complex here, Ludendorf on the Southern Forums, and we are in another Digital League match. This one is against the Indians of Nosy Rat. Now Nosy Rat is, I believe, the top rated player on the Slytherin forums just now. Well, certainly in the Digital League anyway. He is an extremely formidable opponent who I have faced many times, and most of those times he got the better of the engagement in my opinion. I believe the ratio sits at about 60-40, though that's an estimate on my part. And our games amongst ourselves, amongst the two of us, our games are notorious for being extremely close and very tense. So I'm anticipating a fierce fight today against his army, and from the look of his deployments, it certainly looks like he will deliver. I have brought an army. So apologies, I had a bit of problems with my recording software, and I may in fact stop using OBS because the hotkey stopped working and I did not know that it wasn't recording, and I have actually lost a few turns of footage in various games because of that. So the lesson there is possibly don't use OBS if you're depending on it to actually record your videos. But I have brought the Hannibal in Africa list, and my plan here essentially was I was expecting him to bring more of these masked archers and honestly a few less elephants, and so I brought a large host of mediums with the objective of quickly closing with his army and basically overwhelming them with sheer numbers. However, this isn't completely. I'm not just rushing him. This isn't an approach that's completely devoid of strategy or anything like that. Throughout my army, I have placed units of stronger veteran Italian foot, and in fact, when I make my moves, I'll probably cross them like this to bring them into line with his elephants. Because what I suspect he is going to try to do is he will try to use his elephants. He'll fire on me until my units get to, say, about this far away. Then he'll back the archers up. He will turn his elephants to face inwards, and he will use his zone, and he'll probably turn the archers diagonally as well, and he will use the zone of controls to zone lock my army and make it very difficult for me to advance while we're still getting arrows rained upon us. So we'll probably suffer a few disruptions on our way to the elephants, and as if that wasn't bad enough, once those generaled up elephants hit our army, then they will probably cause if they hit disrupted units, they'll probably just smash straight through. So I need to try to even the tide by using my light javelin, which I brought specifically for the purpose of disrupting units of elephants, and also possibly try to attack here. Well, now he's got a strong flanking force here, but I'm not sure if that's going to be enough to prevent my mediums from clashing with his archers on this side. I've got a few units here which I may start to bring in from the side. I'm going to aim to get around the flanks here and really start rolling this side of his army. Here, this isn't a particularly great setup. Again, I may try and move these. I probably want my African spearmen or even my Italian foot to be confronting those heavy chariots, because they're not good to approach from the front. I'll probably bring these units around so that I can have a go at these Indian close fighters instead, because I don't want my elite soldiers being locked up in front of heavy chariots which they are in no way, shape or form able to take on. And this in fact may cause difficulties in general, because he could suddenly bring these forward, and if you look at the shape of the hill, that might actually happen. He could suddenly bring these forward, and it could potentially block off this entire side of my army if I'm not careful. What I might want to do is actually swing this side of my army out and advance it ahead of the rest of my force, because if I can start to reach around and lock this side force down, then as the rest of my army approaches, they won't be able to suddenly advance and disrupt my army like that. So the basic game plan is disrupt these, close home against these, try to neutralize these, try to overwhelm this, and try to avoid having my best soldiers locked down by these. So let's start to move out. Now I think I'll actually bring additional javelin men towards the centre of the battlefield, and that is of course to threaten these elephants. I maybe won't bring across everything though, because I would like to win what looks like maybe an early confrontation with his light cavalry. And honestly, if I can draw his lights into that fight, that is good news for me. Though I don't know what's lurking back here. Remember, I lost the initial move from this due to the recording problems. It wasn't actually a recording problem the second time, but OBS start, I got a little bit paranoid and exited the fight to check that OBS was actually doing what it was supposed to do, and as a result I lost the initial footage. I can use my skirmishers to help a bit here, maybe not the foot skirmishers so much. Well, yeah, again the javelin horse are probably best brought in from the start to help to face the elephants. I need... You know what, I'm actually going to change that around. I've got the luxury of time at the moment. And I think I'll borrow these units from the flank. Now that does create the situation where I'm weakening my centre even more, but in this case I actually want to do that because I think I need to try and keep this medium battle in check. Ride my cavalry out towards the sides, and hopefully these light forces will be able to do quite a bit of damage to his chariots as well as keeping them distracted. Though I'm telegraphing all this fairly heavily, and those Iraq can probably already see what I'm planning to do. Again, on this side, I'm going to start to bring these forces and reserves around, I think, up. Yeah, across. And I'll shift these guys forward for the moment. But I don't want to telegraph what I'm planning to do here. So for the moment, we'll just make it look like a standard elongation of the line. But what I'm really hoping to do is move these guys across like this, and then they'll come in from the side. No, actually I think I need to commit to it, because I need to get onto that hill as quickly as possible if he decides to move against me. So unfortunately I will have to give him some warning of what I'm doing here. But I think that's more important than secrecy at this point. And the centre of my line will remain stable. Ah, of course. Right, he's swinging out wide with his cavalry. He's bringing them. Okay, so that's an aggressive advance. And just when I'm having second thoughts about the African spearmen here as well. Okay then, I am obviously not arranged as I would like to be. So I'm not going to just take a step lying down, I'm actually going to pull back. And it will seem very odd to any Field of Glory veterans that I'm actually pulling back, and I'm absolutely sure I want to do this. It may seem kind of weird for a Carthaginian army to be pulling back in the face of an Indian one, but in this particular case I think it makes sense. we're going to drop back and give ourselves some space to respond, and that is because I have specific units that I want to match up with specific units in his army, and they can move on the diagonal, but I need to give myself enough space for this to work. Because if he comes forward too far, he's going to end up in the marsh. He's going to end up past the marsh. And if he comes out into this area here, that's where I may have an advantage against him. Alternatively, I could try and catch his elephants on the rough here. Okay, next turn. Oops, pull these guys back. This is what Nosy Rat's always very good at. He's always very good at doing what's not expected of his army. I'm absolutely sure they're all turned around, because that would be a disaster. Those cavalry are going to be the main problem for my retreat. They'll be upon me next turn. Well, that sort of works. Also, if I can induce his cavalry forces to become separated from his infantry forces. Interesting. That actually makes his line more vulnerable. A little bit. Let's see. So he can get a unit to here, I think, here, which will allow him to shoot at the rough ground. So I need to sort of spike that with some skirmishers of my own. Wait a second. We're digging out the advanced movement rules for this battle. Right, get on with it. Yes, we really are digging out the advanced movement rules for this battle. So he's got to realise that if he approaches me, then he's at risk of coming under quite extensive attack from my skirmishers. Pull the cavalry back, there's no point in them getting shot at. And keep moving troops over. These irregular foot will be excellent for blocking his cavalry. And I can see he's got quite a lot. We're just going to have to go long line of battle and then hope that when the battle lines clash, things go my way. Keep moving right. Okay. We can almost entrench him once again, much like in my battle with Harvey H. Not that LH, not that that's going particularly well at the moment. I am not running away to force a draw or to try and hide in rough terrain. I am running away to the rough grounds in order to... maybe shouldn't have stood there. In order to get a platform with which to fight back against the enemy army more effectively. In other words, I am not running away. I'm just retreating until I can get to a better position from which to fight. That's the plan anyway. And I think our position is already improving. We are getting troops over to reinforce the flanks against these swarming cavalry. We are kind of drawing him towards this difficult ground here, where his formation may be disrupted, and I think in the next couple of turns I'll be able to turn around and start advancing against his army. Now, what should I do with these units? Because I can't be too aggressive in moving them here. If he manages to charge the light horse, they'll be knocked off the map. I will move them over towards... well, no. I think keep them here for the moment, because they have to stay in contact with those. Oh, it's done now. What I should have done was place them here, that way they could have come in on a diagonal and given these Indian light chariots even more hell if they deploy where I think they might deploy. Of course, he could just hold back and bombard my light javelin, which is what I suspect he'll do. But at least it's my light javelin who are taking the fire, and if we can turn around soon, I should be able to clear this up. Especially if he's too aggressive, because if he leaves his army behind, then these units risk being cut off. I can potentially just drive them off the map, or even use my cavalry and light javelin horse to catch the enemy chariots and then use my infantry to destroy them. Or at least fragment them, because these guys won't be able to hold chariots in melee for very long. End turn. Yeah, those skirmishers are definitely going to take a beating today. I got a shot at these guys as well. But it has held them back. And I think one more step backwards, and these cavalry units will start to separate from the rest of his army. Interesting. Just out of command. I need to think carefully about that. Let's see. Now this is more like the kind of facing I want to have. Let's see. Keep pulling back. We want to give ourselves space. And yeah, I probably actually want my shock troops to swing out. Need to think carefully about this. I think dropping back to around here should be okay. Fact. No, I don't want to put him off. I'm looking to draw him in. Pull these guys right back in. Okay. Next turn, we turn around. I'm not pulling back any further than this. I think this is where we turn to fight. I don't have anywhere left to run to anyway. Yeah. The rough ground may give him a little bit of trouble, but he will eventually get past that. He's riding out. And he's starting to bring his army together. Well, I should have known I wouldn't be able to draw him out like that. I am not going to rush anything about my decision, any of my decision making here. Actually, give me a moment to check that the recording's working. Right, yeah, everything checks out. Okay. So, he's actually got a little bit of a gap in his line here, which I can possibly take advantage of. Let's see, I don't want to give him much room to maneuver here, because this force is dangerous. Let's see. So, I mean, obviously I've got my front line committed here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we've got about 12 man front line. And then the units on the flanks can be devoted to the cavalry battle. Or against his cavalry, rather. So I've got, well, I'd like to get a flanking unit around there. So let's see if I can, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now that is not the end of the story. I've also got my light javelin horse, who may be able to act as harassment agents. He has missiles which could disrupt my infantry and make them vulnerable. And oh wait, I've got 5, so I've got a regular foot coming up. So I should have enough resources over here to deal with this, as long as I'm careful. And that's not 5, is it? 6. Okay. But again, light javelin. So 5 against 6. But my light javelin horse should be able to cause some trouble, and I've got my skirmishers as well, which are, although not as good, are more numerous than his Indian forest tribesmen. I might even be able to get these around and threaten his archers. So I think I'm well set up on the right and in the centre. Although the elephants are a little bit intimidating, I have to admit. Especially since at least one of them are going to end up going into my Phoenician-style foot. Veteran African spearmen here will be fine, particularly with the African spearmen able to back them up. On the left, let's see. I can't say I particularly trust my irregular foot to hold up well against chariot charges. But they are light spear, so I suppose they're better suited to this than the other options. So like I discussed before, I want to keep a space between these Indian heavy chariots and his line. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 heavy units. Well, I've got 5 as well, so we're about evenly matched here. My Sitari may be able to get a small advantage against his Indian close fighters. So let's start to turn around and face this threat now. No, it may be easier said than done. Don't want to give those chariots any room for maneuver. Though I do kind of want to have my Sitari spill out wide of the enemy line. They're not threatened from the flank, so that's fine. And they can still potentially move away from the cavalry if they become a problem. Make sure that these javelinmen are turned around and ready to cause problems for the enemy cavalry if they approach. Good. And they've got the light horse as well. Who can actually possibly do some work in the centre. I'll leave them there. Turn. They're a bit out of step, but turn them anyway. I need to turn these one by one. It's a bit unfortunate that they'll be out of command. So this unit, turn like this. I usually keep my troops like this. Well, let's not make that decision just yet. What do I want to do with these troops? Well, let's make them come under some fire, shall we? It's a little bit risky to bring out my light javelin just yet. Unless... okay, maybe I can make this work after all. Not this unit, it should stay on the flanks, but if I move my Italian foot here, well, this will allow me to... no, I don't want to move my troops out and risk being swamped by the Indian. These units have to stay in lockstep with my other units, with my other troops. So for the moment we will just form lockstep like so. And this line can start to turn around. Well, this line can turn like this as well, but that's not my real objective. They are going to go after this open flank once I can occupy his cavalry. If I can occupy his cavalry. He doesn't have any skirmishers. No, the archers would shoot me to pieces. These guys need to remain protected. See, so he'll be in range soon. Next turn. Of course. Well, those are Indian archers are now very close to the sun. Looks like he's emphasizing the right-hand side of the battlefield. I suppose that's an invitation for me to attack on the left. They sure kept that quiet. Very skillful disruption of my skirmishers. Practically remove them from the fight over a couple of turns. Right. I don't really want to do that. The thing is, here I don't actually want to I'm going to do it here, but only because I would want to engage with these light javelin horse, even though there wasn't a cavalry unit to block them. No, they evaded anyway. That's unwelcome. I rather thought... I suppose it's not that unexpected. What about this cavalry unit? Can I catch them? Nope. Unlucky. Right, let's stick to the plan. Oh, wait. I really need to think about this now. The chariots are threatening to block me here. Hmm. Well, there's not much use. We're going to be in the thick of it. The use messing around. We're going to be in the thick of it soon. All I can do is form a battle line and prepare to advance. Some would say it might even be wise to have my light units face the elephants. Heck, they shouldn't have moved forward like that. Luckily I can fix that next turn. Nope, we can deal with that. Don't come too far forward. It's bad enough that this unit is so vulnerable. Give them a general. Well, by all means. Has he I suppose I shouldn't be too surprised he has more troops than me on this flank. I'll need to form a defensive line here. There's nothing else for it. All I can say for these javelin is they should try and stay alive and cause the enemy as much trouble as possible. And they shouldn't allow the enemy to pursue through. And I may regret placing these Balearic slingers here. They could possibly end up obstructing my line of advance. Next turn. Well, there's really nothing for it now. The only option I have is to run at them. Oh, clever. The artillery gave him a cohesion boost. Oh, would you look at that? Just that little touch over the edge. And they're fragmented, so now out of formation as well. Oh dear. I'm up against a better opponent, aren't I? He anticipated all of this perfectly. Go for it. This was not a good time for a poor charge. Let's see. Might possibly manage to catch them in the pursuit. Let's see. Pull them back and don't let them do it again to us again. Oh, and don't forget your general, lads. Right. Nothing for it. Go. Go, 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 go. I might still possibly be able to make this work. And I already regret my decisions. I can't bring my javelin man up. What I can do is keep this unit back just a little bit. And bring these javelin men up like this. They actually... Okay. Honestly, if they get dragged into the center, that's to my advantage. I don't want to give those nomad light horse archers anything to attach themselves onto. Okay, end turn. Damn it. Oh, goodness. That was an amazing charge. They'll turn around soon. Knew that might happen. God, am I already 9% down? I need reckless aggression here. It's just not happening for me. So now my entire flank is off, and he's just going to wrap this up. I've already lost this, I think. Right. Those javelin foots are a big pain. Not that the Indian close fighters are a big pain. Well, maybe able to trap him. That's how he's beating this. He just kept moving back. He's not letting me get the chance to use my numbers. I thought this would work better. These units need to push up. If there's a gap, we just need to deal with it. I hate these men so much right now. Practically ruined the battle for us with that charge. No, we don't want to end up there. Next turn. Lucky hold. Right, yep, they're going to go straight into the back of us. Unless I can find a way to block that attack. This has been a terrible day for our light troops. Crunch. Okay. Uh-oh. He is too clever for me. Or maybe I should just stop being defeatist. And I do have a little bit of a problem with that sometimes. Seems to be a common affliction. Oh, come on! No disruptions from that, huh? Well, it's always a matter of chance. That should not be possible. I blocked them in. Hate that trick. Well, I'm being a little melodramatic. Having used it before, I can hardly complain, but yeah, it's annoying. Oh, that's not too bad. Now I've got access to his archers. Didn't think my Phoenician-style foot would lose that epically to his elephants. Geez, even my Italian foot are bad at this. I didn't think the elephants would be this much of a problem. Right. Let's just get it over with. Very lucky on my impacts here. Fine. Do complete that. Course 9 fragment. Let's see. Need to loop right around the back here. I'll attack here because they'll have an easier time of getting into melee. Please don't drop back. They'll drop back from that. Blast it. These guys are just going to have to tank this for a while. So that's what the medium foot are for. Another heart in your mouth. Oh god, this is going to be bad. Amazing luck for me there. Right, that's a fragmentation. That's a fragmentation. If I can shatter the archer line quickly enough. Keep going. Whatever's going on the flanks, we have to win the centre, and we have to win it quickly. Perfect. Well, he might get a flank attack here, but at least I can get one here. His is more important, though. He's on a more important part of the battlefield. Damn this. And I can't really do anything about this. But at least... okay, right. What's best here? The problem is these chariots can just... well, yeah, you can move these fragmented archers out of trouble. Or just block it out completely. It depends whether or not his archers can hold out for long enough. I suppose they can move on. Nope, those troops are just going to die. Lock them in. But they're going to go next. Just going to have to spend a unit holding them in place. Okay, I think I'm seeing how this is going to go. Last decision I can make. Let's think about this. I can't stop those Indian cavalry from flanking some part of my line. They are going to do it. And now he's got a flank attack here as well. So annoying. Why? I'm not going to say that anymore. Let's move here. No, come on. Move here. Right. Stay there. Or should I just go for the flank attack? I think whatever I do, I'm hosed here. Let's just throw in for the attack here. Well, we got a disruption out of it. Right, next turn. Already bracing myself. That's an instant break. Of course. And they're off the field. How did they make that turn? You know what? Oh no. Oh, that's actually very lucky. I might actually live through this. They're all blocked in. Damn it. Oh, good. For a second I thought something horrible was about to happen. Right. The light infantry massacre continues. Great. You know, this might not be going so badly. I'm still absolutely terrified, but this might not actually be going quite as badly as I thought it was going. Oh, that's not ideal. I really need my veteran African spearmen to start winning here. That's a lot of dead. So they're going to get flanked. That's inevitable. I'm having second thoughts about being... Because, I mean, he was using only mediums to hold them in. I can't really use the excuse that it was... Really? Oh my goodness, it happened to me twice! Happened for me twice! And that might... Is that going to break the... No, they held firm. Look, okay, forget it, I said anything. That was amazing luck. Do you realise that that's not happened to me twice? A unit of African spearmen held their ground against Indian elephants, forestalling a last-minute flank charge. And then turned them away within 2 turns. That's incredibly lucky for me. That is incredible luck. I think that might have turned the situation around. Maybe. Anything can happen still. Right, that's just a standard impact. Let's see if we get them this time. That's a disruption. They'll probably drop back. Yep. My goodness. Could I actually win this? I'm not sure I deserve to, but can I actually win this? Okay. Well, let's continue after this unit of Indian cavalry. They are eventually going to get free, but hopefully they'll be fragmented by that point. Right. Because once again, he's been very clever here. Let's see how this melee goes first. Okay, they've fragmented. Well, I now have some rather unenviable decisions to make. I am going to take this charge, and okay, they're going to fragment. I was hoping for just a disruption, but that allows me to come in around the back, and hopefully they'll be distracted enough. Let's see, so their flight path will be... I probably want to draw the chariots off in this direction, so I'll place my light javelin here. These light horse are about to break through. It's fine. They'll still be able to charge, so there's not really much I can do about that. Let's just start to activate the lights, and if the nomad light horse archers turn to face, then that's a bonus. That keeps them occupied. Here, well, we're about to break these elephants. So I think throwing this unit into melee and risking a flank is foolish. Instead, I'll just focus on continuing to break the archer line. Right. Well, after my luck the last couple of turns, I'm not going to complain. Because my luck has been remarkable. That was going to happen eventually. Okay, so this unit's going to get flanked. Right. Now I'm just going to give an ordinary charge. Did they turn to face? No, they didn't. So I can at least get his cavalry. Okay, why not? Try and get his artillery too. Hopefully they'll break quickly. Alright. Next turn. Get them. Next turn. So, the battle continues. I think he might be becoming a little bit frustrated here. Just to comment on his army choice. Well, let's just see how things turn out, because I mean I'm still down what, almost 20 points now. Who knows? Right, we know how this is gonna go. Crunch. Are we gonna stand? Instant break with a general in charge, and they went the worst possible direction for things. So that's really not good. I think I'm still on track to lose this at the moment with the percentage the way it is, but percentage isn't everything. Right. It's only 1% though. Alright. Yeah, but I can see what he means. His army is kind of falling apart under this pressure. And this is the thing, once you do get into contact with the Indians, their archers fold pretty quickly. And of course, what's this going to do? Right. There we go. And that's now left him in a very difficult position. It's another fragmentation, because of course that's the danger of falling back constantly. That may have swung things in my favour. We'll see how it turns out. Still a long battle and a long way yet to go. Okay, so... Ooh! Oh, that was lucky. Well, What are our chances? Not too bad. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to charge in here, try and get to these fragmented troops. Couldn't do it. Charge here instead. I think they'll just fall back. Nope. And now that entire line could go, because he can't just pull them back. Those fragmented troops will probably just break. Oh, okay, so I can't do that very... He can lock them in with his archers. Let's see. Because I want to do something about these Indian archers here. See if we can get rid of these guys finally. Unfortunately not. Okay, so his cavalry survived for this turn. Let's see. Right. So I have to act before this cavalry can get itself back in position. Let's see. Deal with this side first. So I really don't want these units to drive back his Indian close fighters, but that may be exactly what happened. Yeah, okay. Not ideal. Really not ideal, but it's not disastrous. They're probably going to break soon anyway. And I'll give them the general to hasten that along. Let's see, well, rather than... Suppose we can do this. He'll probably charge the light javelin and might catch them in the rear. So, knowing that, I guess I'll go for the instant break here. Now, if I try and flank these elephants, he's just going to move them in, so instead I'll go for the quick break against these Indian archers who are stuck in the marsh. And that's an instant break. So more good luck, but it's not quite as lucky as it seems, because I believe archers do get a debuff in melee if they have no melee capabilities, or that might be just units in general. Right, this is important. Oh, okay. I just realised I've made a bit of an error. I've made quite a major error here. I think those elephants can get flank attack now. My only hope comes from these Phoenician stealth foot being able to stop the elephants from doing that. And I might be able to maneuver them in such a way. I don't think I will be able to do it. I didn't think that through. What I can do is threaten the flanks of the elephant line. And of course he'll have to take another shot from these unchallenged javelins. So we'll see how they're disrupted. It could cause less damage to my veteran Italian foot when they go back in. So we'll see how it goes. Let's resolve this. It's probably going to be a break. Amazingly, we hold out for another turn. So I might be able to pin these into melee. Okay. Just lock them in place. And I think I'll actually send my javelins around to start harassing them. So that might draw off the attention of his nomad horse. And I'll bring some troops in to help deal with the... Actually, I think I will start to move them, because they can either move to flank or they can go and deal with the enemy's heavy chariots. Just turn them around because I'm quite happy to have those javelin chased off the field. It would be a waste of those heavy chariots' attentions. Okay. I want to put them here. That might seem like a total waste of them, but it will save my light javelin horse from being flanked. As now that was quite unlucky. The Indian cavalry managed to hold on for quite an extraordinary length of time. Just deciding whether or not to move this irregular foot into position. Don't want to unleash these light chariots on the rest of the battlefield. See, well, that's still not a flank attack, so hopefully, even if he blocks these in, I'll still be able to get the attack on the. I'll still be able to stop these Indian archers from locking down my African spearmen, and then I can get rid of this lot. But that elephant attack is going to hurt, and I don't think I can stop it, especially once those Indian archers go through, because they'll probably charge into melee here, I suspect. And that will block my Phoenician style foot from getting the flanks and the elephants, which will allow them to flank me unopposed. So I could lose my best units here. It is still very much in the balance. Next turn. Oh. They are not going. Wow! That's incredible luck. That isn't. Actually, no, that's fine. I mean, that was lucky for me because those cavalry are now in just the wrong position. Again, I think this has turned in my favour now. I had a very lucky escape from those cavalry, but it looks like the infantry battle has also gone better than I thought it was going to. Though I'm going to get stomped here. I didn't think he'd be able to do that, but I forgot elephants can move one square to the side like cavalry can. Ouch, well spotted. They managed to pull back. Stop prolonging the battle, darn it. I need to win this quickly before before anything else goes wrong. Okay, our light javelin are going to make a very quiet exit. Let's see. Oh, they're still pursuing? Right. And that could potentially go on forever. Let's hope we get a disrupt here. Nope. Then my only hope is that these Indian elephants can stand for, that my veteran Italian foot can stand for long enough. That also helps. And these elephants don't have a general on them, so their attack won't be quite so lethally effective. I'm going to have to... Does everyone feel like they're losing in Field of Glory? I swear everyone feels like they're losing. Which is a lot like actual battles in history, apparently. Everyone feels like they're losing a battle. Right. So these guys are pursuing. I probably... Well, he can't stop all of this. Let's let this go through. Okay, so those chariots are off, chasing nobody. I think I can simply lock all of this in place. And if I can do that, then I can eventually move these units off. To challenge the Indian noble archers. Because if they're out of command, they'll only be able to move to this square here. I'll be able to move to here to block them. This unit. Yeah, I think I can do this now. Let's see. They are threatening the elephants there, so it really depends whether this all just goes at once. What you probably do is actually flank this unit here. And then I'll be free to take the elephants here. Move up here. These are the world's most doomed javelin men. Seriously, I did not think that one through. Everything else over there is just a distraction. Get our forces over towards the center of the map. That's where the battle is now. I suppose I could commit... They're not really well suited to that. Let's just get everyone over and into the fighting. To be honest, I'll probably end up turning these Spanish Cetari around to face the chariots. So there are still quite a few threats on this battlefield. He's got the cavalry over here. The chariots, I think, will be able to turn around soon, but I think I'm one step ahead of him. Next turn. This turn will decide the outcome, and it really depends on this elephant charge. Yeah, guys, that was the priority right now. Idiots. Those chariots could still have a part to play if they can turn around in time. Okay, that's a fragmentation. Are they going to hold? No! Oh! Okay. It wasn't as bad as it could have been. That would have been an ugly moment. That was my commander-in-chief who got hearted off the battlefield. That's really hearted. Oh, wow. Nosy really did bring all of the elements together to stop me here, didn't he? Right, well. Depends on how long those elephants stand their ground for. Maybe I can make them panic another level. Nope. Oh, and he's... Darn it, he's got into my flanks again! No, that won't work. And I'll tell you why it won't work. Because he'll just move a tile forward and then hit us with the charge. He's thwarted me. How does he keep doing that? It's very annoying. Really? Huh. Oh, because there's pursuing troops. Right, this battle's still open then. What do I do about this situation here? So these... It really depends what happens to these veteran Italian foot when they're flanked. I'll start hunting the elephants down with my veteran African spearmen. Because these Phoenician style foot are very vulnerable. Well, we'll cause what casualties we can. The situation is ridiculous. Yeah, we definitely want to send the African spearmen type units and veteran African spearmen off to deal with the enemy elephants. I knew they'd have a part to play in this. So this situation's bad. Because these irregular foot really don't have anywhere reliable to go. They're going to get hit in the rear pretty much whatever they do. Because even if these African spearmen turn, then it just means that my Phoenician style foot are going to get rumbled. If they move 2 squares, there's a chance this could cause them a problem. On the other hand, we'll also get that unit back into the fray. And it would be a bad time for it too. Especially if they move that way. No, it's probably just going to put me in a worse position, honestly. So I'm just going to have to take the chance. This is not going to be pretty whatever happens. And yes, I'm aware the chariots are still a threat to my rear. There's not much I can do. I said at the start of the battle, battles between myself and nosy rats are never tidy and orderly affairs. See you next turn. That's a rather worrying rally. So Nosy still has a lot of pieces on the board which can hurt me. Okay, that was what I was afraid. That stopped what I was afraid of from happening. I'm not sure that achieved anything. Well done, men. No, that's just unlucky. That wasn't exactly lucky either. Those elephants normally would have chosen to stop. Really? Huh. Oof. Ow. Some of my troops rallied. Need to... I guess they should start hiding in the forest. Remember, kids, they still count as on the field as long as they're physically on the field. It doesn't matter if they're at the end of the battle hiding in a forest, it still counts. I'm running out of javelins. Okay, well this situation obviously isn't tenable long term. Yeah, I'm gonna have to draw troops off to face those chariots. Should still be able to win the battle with my remaining forces. I'm just going to take the flank attack here. Neither of my units are reliable enough to break those elephants. Now, even disrupted, my veterans should be able to hold their own. Though, wow, there's not much left of them, is there? Huh. I think I just thought, right, they are very close to auto-breaking. Need to keep the pressure on. Alright, wait. Which means... Yep, that's what I needed them to do. Just leave them in place. I'll move my cavalry down to challenge these chariots. Right. I've got the advantage now. How do I convert this into a win? Not by doing that, that's for sure. I did not realise that I'd actually presented my flank to him here. Okay. I'm going to divert this unit in that direction, and this unit is free. It might be able to go after these. Oh no, they'll just expose themselves to more trouble. Right, you guys can at least go for a flank now that all of this stuff is locked down. These cavalry aren't going anywhere, so lots of immobile elements in the battlefield now. There are a lot of elements in the field that are just kind of staring at one another. Okay, next turn. And onwards with the show. So this is effectively another phase in the battle now. There's a good chance the elephant will come back. Crunch. Ah. Okay. Well, that does allow him to get a... it doesn't really. Yikes. They rallied, but what a place to rally. I could do that. To be honest. So it finally gets rid of them. Good. 21%. If I can rout another unit, I might be able to end this. Those heavy chariots. It's not like my troops are safe yet. Another held firm result. Let's see. This is literally the only path I can take that will take me further away from those elephants and at least delay them. And if I can move my infantry close enough. So I'm really going all in the elephant, but I suppose it's not really wise. Because there's no way I can actually catch his elephants. Where am I going to pick up these last couple of routes? Breaking this unit will certainly help. But that's a given. Very small chance I can win it here. Oh. I've missed my chance to give them a general. Those chariots are incredibly powerful. If we had one more route in the way, this would be all but over. Let's see. Oh, that's annoying. I'm just wasting time pursuing the elephants. What good will that do? Start to pull back. I'm not going to win anything by fighting these chariots out in the open. They're low on ammo anyway. If I can get someone up here to attack these charioteers, I think I have an idea to facilitate that. And try to stay close to these guys. We've only got 8 turns left. I don't want this to end in a draw. This is another unit that could be vulnerable, but they're not going to go down to just my javelin man. Now he's got me on the downhill. Where the odds aren't even that bad, honestly. Well, I'm not exactly thrilled about that. And if they rally, I could actually be in trouble. I should probably have taken a fight with these chariots when I had the chance, but I wanted to get those elephants. Okay, next turn. Okay, there goes my hopes to a quick end of the before the battle. Right. Well, it doesn't matter, he's about to swarm all over me. Though I appreciate how long they held out for. Jesus. That was a very lucky and timely rally. My javelin don't have any javelins left to throw. It depends whether or not my veteran Italian foot can hold it together for a turn. He's just going to run away. All of these units are effectively unavailable because they're just going to run away, and he's got an army full of mobile troops. Damn. Even when I was so close, I thought I had him. There's no way he can come back from that, right? Here I am, still having problems. Okay. Turn to threaten the flank there. Oh, they stood their ground from that? Right, at least we can lock them down. I can't just charge in because they'll flank me. All I can really do is move up and throw a clutch of javelins at them. At least it was maximum casualties. I need to get the cavalry free. This is what I need to do. I need to get the cavalry free and moving after these trapped Indian archers. He's waiting for the rally here. I need to try and inflict as many casualties as possible in the meantime. It is starting to have an effect. Look at the impact bonus now. How am I going to finish this? This will help. Need to decide very quickly where exactly I want my troops to go. Thing is, a lot of my soldiers are disrupted. You know what, before we make any decisions, let's see where these guys end up trundling off to. Okay. That is acceptable. Are they both pursuing? Right, hopefully they'll keep pursuing for a while. They're probably gone. Right. I do actually need to keep moving up because those elephants will threaten my flank if I don't. Let's just keep moving here. At least create enough uncertainty that it's dangerous for him to challenge me. I know if I turn this way, then when he turns like this, he won't immediately threaten my flank by turning around. It's these small details like that one turn which could decide things here. Okay, the reason I'm sending these troops north is because I'm planning to use my cavalry to catch his archers, but he's probably going to see me doing that and send the chariots to help, which means I need to be ready to respond to that. The rest of my army can move this way. I'm worried about it getting sandwiched between these cavalry, these chariots, and these heavy chariots. But I need to do something. I need to try and end this. Next turn. Of course. To be fair, this is pretty much how you use medium cavalry when they're on their own. Well, that'll get the chariots available again. Man, he's fast. Hoping for a quick end here. Right. Now let's just hope I don't get a freak. incident. I don't think I'll be able to get those elephants. I'll take for it. I won't be able to get them. If I can break these elephants and break one of his Indian archers. Or should I just turn and try and fight the chariots? I only have to break one of them, and I've won the game. And these chariots are weakened. These ones aren't, that's the only thing. I could also try and go after his cavalry. I need to be careful with these veterans because they're coming close to auto break range, and he has a lot of missile troops that could whittle them down. Can I do this? No, because of the square here. If their facing was a little different, I'd be able to move here. So here's the problem. If I move this unit here, I move these light javelinmen here, then if I charge these Indian light chariots as I'm planning to, but then again, okay, we're fighting the chariots. You lot need to keep the pressure on those elephants. And these guys need to turn around and contain the chariots. Next turn. Returning to this battle. So I need about 2 or 3 more routes. I'm going to get one of them from the elephants, but those chariots are closing in. This isn't over yet. Worried for a second I might have lost that. Ellie. He's turning the elephants around, they're coming to interfere, just as I knew they would. Excellent. So yeah, I need one more route, I believe. He's going to try and get the disruption, the fragmentation on these units. I think he might get... Hard luck for Nosy Rat there, he just fell short. I am absolutely confident that with another volley he would have managed to get the fragmentation there. But it wasn't quite to be. So... where is that last route going to come from? I'll continue to harass his elephants, but without ammunition they're not going to do much more. I think on their best day they might bring down one. Thing is, those elephants are just slightly faster. So I need to think about where they'll be in a few turns. See, they could be here and engaging my Phoenician style foot. These elephants will eventually get round to here, and they'll be able to threaten the noble cavalry. I need to have something in the way, but these veteran Italian foot are not strong enough to really withstand it anymore. But they only have to last for a little while, though. Where's the general for these guys? That's a very good question. Where is the general for these guys? I wonder if I lost a general somewhere or lost a unit with a general. So unfortunately that won't be used. Let's just chuck some javelins at these guys. We might manage to get them down to auto break by the end, so that's another way I could win. Right. So I won't be able to get the... Or maybe, think about how this is all... Let's just take a moment and think about how this is all going to come together. I am clearly about to get into flanking difficulties with these chariots. However, I do have a couple of resources I can use to try and help with that situation. Let's take my commander-in-chief off of these fragmented veteran Italian foot, because I really don't think they're going to be doing any good for us anymore. I will place them in charge of this unit of African spearmen, and they can transfer from there. So what I could do is move these guys to here, onto this rough ground, and that would allow me to threaten these Indian heavy chariots from the flank as they come past us. So I'm not actually going to engage the chariots. I could really use the Spanish Citari's help against the elephant unit, though, if it comes into contact with us. But the thing is, he could just Nosy Rat could just decide to not engage with the elephant and then just bring up the chariots. He has very few units positioned, but wow, are they well positioned. Units left, but wow, are they well positioned to deal with me. The light chariots are certainly vulnerable. But the elephants are a problem. This is the problem, I don't know what I can actually knock out. I certainly need to do something to rescue these irregular foot. I don't want to just sacrifice them. And I can't cover them from fire this turn. And that's going to be a concentrated volley. But the rest of his army is very vulnerable right now. Actually. Because these... But he could also just turn away with the chariots and force a draw that way. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap a general out to here. Force them away. Hopefully they run a decent they ran too far. Okay. But lock them down. And we are going to do a spot of elephant/chariot hunting. Because these superior troops will hold long enough that I might be able to get the kill on these noble cavalry. Move up to here, then if he does try and flank, they'll get the flank and he can get around their sides though. No, he's not quite got the flexibility to do that. He could go this way and go after my Phoenician stuff up, but that's not going to save him from defeat at this stage. Getting more routes isn't going to save him from defeat, unless of course he can defeat me still. See, I'm going to try and corral these units and get the victory that way. And I'll just try to slow down these chariots. But yes, we're not without our problems. Those Indian light chariots could come and kill us. But it means leaving these Indian light chariots and Indian forest tribesmen to die. Actually, keep that unit on. That unit needs to start advancing towards the Indian light chariots because they need to try and keep them occupied. These guys, unfortunately I couldn't get these guys onto the rough ground, but they need to try and cause problems for the Indian heavy chariots as they move up. And if the Indian chariots are too slow about disposing of them, then they'll get a visit from the veteran African spearmen. The Indian archers are problematic. I'm not going to lie about that. Let's see, do I have enough force to win here? I think so. Which means I can possibly send these Sutari up north to help with that situation. Whether it's worth doing that or not is another matter. What are my requirements here? The thing is, these units could be absolutely critical because they could be a key to defeating the elephant unit if they prove too persistent. Because the elephants could still evade us unless I'm careful. Could even curve around to here. He's just got enough mobility left in his army to cause problems, but I will go after his chariots whatever happens. I think I'll keep them like this. I can still send them off to here, but I think I need to do something to help against these Indian archers. And we've still got the possibility of taking the route here. So that seems fair enough. Next turn. Right. I could try and force them off the map. Ah, yeah, managed to drop back. Thinking about his chariots a little bit there. Ah, didn't think he'd managed to pull that off. Well, this is useful. Let's see. Right, let's go for the knockout blow here. They'll seal off these chariots. They're going nowhere now. Let's see how this goes. Only problem here is I could give his elephants a way out. Because they're facing this way, they can still continue to run away. So I don't know if they get a double diagonal move. We're close. We're definitely closing in on those elephants. But can my Phoenician style foot hold for long enough? Maybe even get a general over to them. Nope. But if I'm going to win here, I need to intercept them somewhere. Right, they can... because that's the commander-in-chief. Okay. Because I need to stop him from moving any further away. It's final bells now. These guys here are just going to try and hold their ground. I'll continue to spin these Spanish Sutari around. These guys aren't going to be able to... see, that's why I moved this unit up. Because a flank attack there could actually be dangerous. Keep it up. That didn't do much. Nothing we can really do except get into a steering contest with these chariots. And of course they'll probably manage to break through here. Okay. It's all coming together to end in one way or another. Please leave us alone. Okay. Hi. I don't like this. That was extremely timely and may actually decide the match now. Ah, still need another 2%. I hope they don't come back. Right, I need to know what's going to happen here. Is it a defeat? We could still suffer an auto break. If he keeps falling back, he'll be exposing himself to right. I know I know what I can start to do. Block him in. But with so little time left on the battlefield, it feels a bit mean to do that now. At least if he tries to back up again, oh, I bet he's kind of got loose now. Is there anything I can do with this? The only thing I can think of to do is start to move out to confront him and try and go after these units here. These guys can start to come to the rescue of my light javelin. These guys probably want to be on call in case these units auto break against the elephants. Well, the elephants aren't looking too healthy either. I don't think these guys can get to anywhere in time. They might possibly be able to make it to the enemy elephants. You guys just turn and face those nomad light horse archers. This is going to be the one that decides it. That, or if those elephants rally. In fact, oh, that's a difficult choice. Because there's a good chance that these elephants could come back. And the only way I can forestall that potentially is by turning this unit around. But if I do that and these guys do break, I don't think it's possible for me to... Well, the thing is I could lose like 52 men in one go, and that would be enough for the break. It would be incredibly bad luck for that to happen. I still would have this unit nearby, but it's not a certain break in that case. On balance, I'll leave them here for now and try and guarantee getting that break, but I don't like the situation one bit. Pass the general along. Next, and I suspect the final turn, or final turns. Dramatic tension! Come on, hold. Ugh. It's more of a sympathy groan for Nosy Rat there, because that was hard luck. And that elephant could have rallied up. But it wasn't to be. So I'll take his elephants out now. They break pretty quickly. Now it's not over yet, because he could still have a rally. It is not over yet. I'll take the opportunity to engage his chariots. Okay, so they're going down, but and I'll move around to the flank here. Pile on the pressure here. So funny if they fragmented just now. It does look like it's because even if someone does rally up now, I think with the Indian Forest Javelin about to break, that'll be it. And he can't play keep away from my archers now either. And I think, oh dear, this is a bit dicey. Move here to block, I guess. And turn this way to ensure. You can still evade me if he backs up. But that's it. And with only 2 turns left, that would actually be enough to evade me, even if they fragmented, I think. They're in place. Doesn't look like I'm going to get the auto break, so it's just as well I wasn't dependent on it. Oh, I think they might break next turn if we get the maximum number of... If we get more than 8 casualties from the javelins, I'll be able to do it. I might also be able to do it from charging here. Interesting that cavalry are moving out here. I'll just continue to move these along. These guys are going to have no further part in the battle anyway. My veterans did a lot of work for me. Keep them running. Thank you very much. I don't want them coming straight back. Turn around just in case they do decide to come back. And I can let these guys go if they're going to go. If not, that's more good luck for me. Yeah, I just realised this may not have been the best idea ever. Because they can actually... Oh, they could actually flank my Citari, but only if these guys somehow manage to engage against Impact Foot when they have no melee capabilities. That's not going to happen, I think. My Citari really don't have anything to fear from this unit from the front. Alright. Well, Nosy Rat, good game if that is the final turn. But, well, I'm being premature. Let's see what happens. And that's it. Okay, let's talk about that. So this was a tough battle, as I'd expect from any game where I'm up against Nosy Rat, and there was a moment in this battle where it almost looked like he had me, because when his cavalry broke through, that would have hit me just as I was beginning to break the archer line. And if I hadn't gotten lucky and it hadn't stopped exactly where it had, I think this could have gone in a different direction. There was also this very cagey pursuit phase where Nosy Rat could have forced a draw on me. Now, he kind of went in for an attack with his elephants and I managed to catch up with him. Whether or not he, if he hadn't gone for that attack, he could have kept away from me and forced a draw. I don't really think so, because I would have just taken these chariots and these archers and I would have ended the battle that way. And I might have managed to get these Indian archers too, although to be fair, he might have managed to break through my Phoenician style foot here as well. I wouldn't, and I would probably have gotten these Indian cavalry eventually as well, because they were on the brink of auto breaking by the time the battle ended. It's interesting how we're analysing the smaller factors of this battle so much, because of course I think in terms of the macro strategy, my broad line approach was a good pick against the Indian massed archer line, and Nosy Rat's encirclement approach to try and break up that charge and to get something around the flank, smash into the rear of it, break up all those vulnerable medium foot, that could have worked as well. So I think on the macro scale, both of us had very solid strategies there. What Nosy Rat could possibly have done, and we did discuss this a little bit in chat, was... Now, first of all, I need to address that this doesn't really say much for me, because I think this was a bit of a mismatch of armies. I think that the Hannibal and Africa list does have an advantage over the what am I trying to say here? Over the Indian army, just because of the way the armies match up. Large bodies of medium foot, which are expendable and cheap in number, are very good at countering massed archers, because the massed archers simply do not have the firepower to stop all of them, and once those mediums break through into melee combat with the archers, it's basically over at that stage. But what Nozirak had possibly done to make that position a bit more defensible was use the elephants on the flanks and put all the heavier units on the flanks, and rely more on that falling back. So he could have tried to draw me into the centre and refuse contact a little bit longer, and then just keep. And of course, his elephants would have been able to exert enormous pressure if they were concentrated in the flanks like that. I don't know, I mean, they got there eventually, but I don't think I had many of my elite troops on the flanks. And so there wouldn't have been enough of these African spearmen and these veterans to stop the elephant charge. It would have broken through somewhere. And that might have given this cavalry an earlier parole and a stronger parole, and allowed them to come charging into the back of my forces with more strength and at an earlier date than they managed to do so, because they were just a hair's whisker too late to stop my infantry charge going through, and it was the infantry charge that really won the battle. This is one of the few cases where I've won by breaking through the centre instead of coming around the flanks. And it only really happened because this is a massed archer army. So that's how I think this could have gone a little bit differently. As for what I could have done differently, I did perhaps waste a little bit of time being indecisive about whether I was going to chase down these archers or go after the chariots. I did a very poor job of managing my skirmishers. Nozirak took quite a frightening lead over me early on, and that's because I allowed my skirmishers to get chased down by his lights. There was one case where I left a unit of skirmishers here, I think, and I think that actually allowed his cavalry to break right through and right around my rear, and that was one of the ways he managed to get past all of the troops I had blocking his flanking efforts. He managed to get someone around the back, and there was a moment where I had my head in my hands and I was thinking, this is it, he's going to encircle me and he's going to break me, and it was partially my poor use of skirmishers. And honestly, if I was going to use them like that, it might even be worth bringing less skirmishers in order to ensure that I had maybe an extra unit of cavalry. But I needed to use my skirmishers more confidently than that. That was definitely one of the weaker parts of my gameplay here. Other than that, I don't know if there's much else I could have done. I remember he deployed close and in contact with me, and that was definitely a good move on Nozirak's part. I could possibly have tried to... I think I was a little bit sloppy in my pullback. I could have been ready to meet those elephants a bit more quickly, because I was caught out of formation a few times with my Phoenician style foot facing the wrong way. They could only take the one step up diagonally instead of the two steps they get if they were facing straight or continuing to move diagonally. I mean, he put a lot of pressure on me, and it's no surprise I made a few small mistakes, but that's possibly something I need to think about more, how I handle my infantry on the advance, and particularly when I'm engaging in complex maneuvers like that. But that'll come with practice, and maybe I just have a little bit more rust to shake off after all. Right, but folks, that is it for me. Thanks again, Nozirak, for the game. It's always a pleasure to play against you. Incredibly intense gameplay, but always a pleasure to play against you. And I'll see you all next time. Please remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. and farewell. I always forget this, don't I? Here's the victory screen. So, because this went on for so long, very dark day for the Indians at 54% casualties, and my Carthaginians hardly got away scot-free, so that's almost 3,000 dead, injured, or deserted. And I think we actually, look at this is interesting. We actually killed and wounded less of their troops than they killed and wounded of ours. Most of their losses come from desertions after the battle, so we actually saw more dead Carthaginians on the field today than we did Indians. Okay folks, that's the end for real this time, and thank you for watching. Farewell.